What's going on, y'all? Y'all already know the vibes. Central Ohio creators back in the building. We got the Jet taking 3 vibes. Ohio Keys like always. But y'all see what's going on in the background, baby. Mr. PA Flex is in the building with us today. You know what time it is, man. It's a pleasure to have you with us here today, man.
I appreciate you having me too.
Yes, sir. Real Columbus legend is in the house. This gentleman right here, for those who don't know, I mean, this is a big-time veteran in the Columbus music rap scene. Was part of the group. What is it? The Third Power. I'm getting hip to the Columbus scene too, as far as like the history. So you know what I'm saying. Don't judge. But the Third Power right there. That's a group with him in Coast City. Shout out to the AU. You already know the vibes. But yeah, man, we got a Columbus vet in the building with us today. We got a lot to talk about with him. I'm interested on who he's ghostwritten for. I wonder if we're gonna get that today.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna put it out there early, like let it sizzle a little bit. Let's see if we can get that popping.
That's funny.
Let's go, Keith.
All right, so the first question I have for you is like, what's your story and what made you get into music?
I mean, my story, to be honest with you, is it's similar to a lot of cat stories. I mean, we all, at least coming from my era, we all was introduced to music from our parents, our uncles, our aunts. You know, the tradition we had as kids was on weekends you cleaning the crib and your parents is playing vinyls. So wherever I was at, my moms, my aunts, my grandmas, they was playing vinyl, like shit. It's like 60s and 70s, like soul music or gospel music from that time, and like that's how we were introduced to just music, period. And then as we went into the like our elementary school, at least me and my brother, I started to rap, and it was just I took all that soul kind of influence from the gospel and from all the soul shit, and just started, but I just kind of turned it into rapping. You know what I'm saying? And then around the same time, me and my brother started playing instruments. So it was like we just was into music. You know, we was into music. Well, we just took all the soul stuff and just kind of transferred it over instead of just like, you know, singing. 'Cause I know a lot of us, even though we did end up getting in church choir in middle school, you know, 'cause I know a lot of young black kids get introduced to music through church, through singing in church. That was a little later, but I mean, we had that influence too, and we had that experience. But it was just listening to the music that our family was playing. It was just that made you just like that soul music, and then hip hop was so, I guess, it was just coming around. It was just getting a little popular. People was just like, they thought it was going to go away. They thought, oh, this is going to be some little 5-10 year shit that's going to go away. And that's what we just channeled the music through. And that's what we started to do. So that's kind of my beginning. It made me fall in love with soul into hip hop, you know, as a kid.
Okay.
Oh, no. And when did you guys meet Rashad?
I met Rashad in 7th grade.
Okay.
It was at Monroe Traditional Middle School, which is closed now. Shout out to all my Monroe Eagles that we still represent. It was, the funny part about it was his best friend Dion, Big D. I knew Dion when we was little because he used to live by one of my cousins. So when I go with my aunts and she babysit me and Co, Dion's right like next door, and that was Rashad's best friend. So it was kind of like, I don't know if he knew Rashad yet, but we all kind of met. Co was in 8th grade, we was in 7th grade, and that's when we kind of met, and we just started rapping. And this is before Co was rapping, so I will make that clear because me and him talk shit all the time about our rap history, whatever. But that was 7th grade, and me and most of the Third Power was in a group called the Cash Money Kids. Okay. It was me and Dion and Rashad and my dude Blacksmith and a couple other kids that was, because everybody back then was trying to rap. Yeah. They was like, man, we all gonna kind of rap, and then some of them just stopped rapping. But that was 7th grade, which was actually, I'm dated and everything. It's 1991.
Wow.
Yeah.
Name some music inspirations, like specifically though. Who was like your top 5, or like who was like really the ones was like, yeah, I wanted to be like them when I come up? Because you got that real hip hop core sound. So I know it was some guys that really was the reason you sounded like that.
I mean, back then it was groups, because we was in a group. We started in a group, and then when we went into high school, we was still in a group. So back then it was NWA, Public Enemy, Tribe Called Quest was probably the biggest for us. Then you got into the Roots. Outkast became real big. So it's back Mobb Deep, the Locks. Like it was it started back then. It probably was NWA, Tribe Called Quest, Public Enemy, because we was really always on some black conscious kind of rap shit. So those was the first ones, but Tribe Called Quest was probably the biggest because they had the jazz influence. They had a real street kind of. They had a street feel, but it wasn't street where it's like some thug shit or something.
They wasn't like gangster rap, but it was definitely to the streets though.
If you know anything about New York, if you've been in New York,
they was outside.
They was outside. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was fun music. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get into individuals, like for me personally, and people just crack up when I say this, but if you a certain age, you know this shit. The person that made me want to rap was Will Smith.
Okay.
Well, Fresh Prince actually, Fresh Prince and G Daddy Jeff. Yeah. Because he was like me. It was fun. He was having fun with the music. He was making motherfuckers laugh. He was super entertaining, and he just made me be like, damn, that shit look fun as hell. Like I want to do this shit. And Will Smith can rap. Like
he really can.
Will Smith done went like so commercial and so big Hollywood that when he starts to rap again, people be like, this nigga tripping. But if you go back to the 80s and then the early 90s, dude, Will Smith can rap like a motherfucker.
He dropped something this year that was like actually pretty solid. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, where it was like, okay, you gotta respect this. You know what I mean? Like,
but you gotta have a certain level of ear or a certain respect for just music to understand. Like you gotta try to push the Bad Boys and shit all to the side real quick and just look at it and appreciate it. But that was one of the main dudes that made me want to rap. Was him, but then with the group, it was all them other groups, man.
Yeah, you're right though too. It was definitely even the greats. Just about all of them started in the group first, and then they ended up going solo. Why do you think it's like that? I just thought about that. But why do you think it's like that?
I think if you go back to the infancy of hip hop, there's a lot of crews. It was always cats repping they projects or they block. So it was like there was always, and even when you see dudes that's solo doing videos, it'd be gang of niggas behind them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it'd be they dudes that they get in school with or they cousins or they people. And it's always a crew. So I think that I just think that's what it is.
For sure.
You know?
It's like that even with the R&B though when you think about it. Like the 90s R&B groups, like the greats that came out of them groups, they was all groups first. Yeah. You know, it's kind of wild. Yeah. That was like the pathway then.
I think we black people is tribal anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Like we like to run in kind of packs and groups and just tribes. You know, I think that's kind of going back to Africa, just us being in groups and in our own little cliques.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that because it's like a circle of energy. You know, it's cultivated. Because everybody got like a role. Yeah, you know, which is fucked up. And I will divert the conversation a little bit, which is kind of fucked up sometimes about our culture. Is like, I wish that it was more inclusive.
I wish it was inclusive, but I wish it was more so people just need to know their role. Like the one thing about 90s hip hop is that it got really big, it got super popular, but you started to see the people who weren't really gifted in rapping, the Master P's, the Puffs,
not like the
Birdman kind of dudes, where they was like, but even that, but it's like you started to see people rap that couldn't really rap. That ain't their gift.
I mean, if we being real, Eazy-E, he wasn't really a rapper. It wasn't his bars.
Yeah, they pushed him.
He was the one funding it. You know what I'm saying? And then they was like, nah, get on here.
And that was mainly because his persona and his voice, and it was like, nah, you need to do this. And if you ever have seen the like clips in the studio of him rapping,
is he trash like that?
He just, dude, when you get in the studio with cats that can't rap, how I say this? It's trying to figure out how to say it without I'm just gonna say my new thing is just to say it. If you don't know how to say it, just say it. Yeah. It's terrible. I mean, just knowing how to record and not just he was bad. Like I'm talking about, they had a punch. Like every other line. It was terrible.
I wish the Beat Hustler was here to chime in on that because we had a guest in here yesterday where we were talking about that kind of conversation. You have some people like bro was saying he punches in like on every single line, and it was like. Granted, because I've heard his music and it's like I like his music, so if it works, it works. But it's like that's interesting because that's not the traditional way of doing it. You're right; it's so different now. Like the different ways that newer artists.
I mean, there's so much technology that makes it like that. And it's funny that you say O-Sharp because O-Sharp gets on my nerves with this particular concept. Because when I work with Rashad, like Rashad is such a producer. He's like a super like. Finicky, artistic, like genius producer. He don't give a fuck if you gotta punch some shit. He gonna fix the shit. He gonna mix it. He gonna mix it. And he like just punch it.
Like just get it
I've
off.
been in the studio with O before. This is years ago. And O be like, no, you can't read it. We're not punching. You're not reading. So it's like you be in like this, and you be like, so you gotta go in there and rap the shit. No punches, and you be in there doing it over and over sometimes because you just fuck up.
Yeah.
And you be like, look at this nigga, like, why we gotta be like this?
Right.
We don't gotta be like, but
That's
I understand
funny.
why he's doing it. But I'm like, we got all this technology, yo. Just come on, like, let's just do this shit,
Yeah.
But it's the technology is your friend now to the point where it's good, but it also can make you sound and appear better than you are. That's why the freestyle Friday, like you said, that's why it's good to have a venue or have an event or have something where you throw people out there.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can really do that. Let's see if you really about that.
Yeah.
We just was saying this, man. Like literally yesterday and today before you got here.
Yeah.
Like that's what's behind that. Like if you walk around with this title, and that's for any title. If I say I'm a manager of some sort at a business, like that means you're expected to do certain stuff that's associated with that title. So if you consider yourself a rapper, a music artist who really be out here doing it, and then people provide you with different opportunities to showcase your skill set, and it's like, well, no, I can't do it right now though.
I'm scared to freestyle.
What is it about that? Because I mean, you're a veteran too, so you definitely have to have some insight on that. What is it about that makes people be like,
It's the new generation.
refrain from just freestyling? Like, is
My
my style ain't free? I mean, like, is it
that's one. That's the new shit, and I'm not mad at that.
I'm not either. It's just,
I'm not mad
is
at
that what it is?
But
Or?
that's part of it. What he just said was really part of it too. Y'all both hit both sides of it. I'm like this. I'm blessed to be born in 1979, and we was born when everything's on tape. This is before CDs.
Analog.
And CDs is out now, so it's like, and make sure I get y'all a CD. Because I think I do a couple in the car. Collector's item, even if you don't have a CD player.
Less, yeah.
We were seasoned different. We had to do different shit to get like accolades and shit. Like when we was coming up, the only way you was gonna get respect was we was gonna be outside of different venues ciphering. Where the MCs in the city, whoever was rapping, somebody's beatboxing or something, PA will come up there, copyright, Camus, Rashad.
Sugar.
And it was like, that's the only way if you wasn't on stage.
Exactly.
Where now the technology has made it possible where you can be in your crib and you have never done a show. You've never been in a cipher. You've never been under any type of pressure where, nigga, there's all these niggas looking.
Facts.
There's these chicks looking
Facts.
that y'all all is
real pressure of
people
doing
looking at
it.
you.
Yeah.
And it's dope that the accessibility is there.
Yeah.
But there ain't no, dude. I've been in places where if you fuck up right here,
It's over.
I'll be looking.
everybody is gonna be like, until the next time, until you fix
You
it,
gotta redeem yourself.
they're gonna be like, damn, PA was fucked up and shit. And the chicks is right there too.
We seen 8 Mile. You know what I mean? He came out there and choked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, bro, you humiliated when that happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But see, if you have an open mind, like I consider myself a person with an open mind. I give you an example. I watched a podcast a couple weeks ago, and it was Columbus cats. But they was talking about like they was starting to name like who they thought was the best in the city or whatever. And I'm listening. I don't know who the niggas was talking about. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. And I was looking and I was saying like, obviously, somebody gets into your music, and I haven't heard the music, so I can't judge it whether or not it's great, bad, whatever. Yeah. But it's like, I can't judge nobody till I see you on the stage. Like, to me,
doing it in real time.
Doing it in real time with the crowd, giving a fuck or not giving a fuck. Because I've been in front of no people. I've been in front of 10 people. I've been in front of crowds where it's full, and they still like this. And it might be like this or whatever, and you gotta rock.
You gotta keep
you
going,
still gotta,
whether they rocking or not.
But that was also the benefit of having a group, though.
Yeah.
Because we had a whole thing with the third where it was like me, Black, Shakes, Cole, Rashad. Dude, if these motherfuckers ain't rocking with us, we about to just start rocking. We about to just exchange all this energy between us. Yeah. Fuck y'all for a minute. Yeah. For this little 10, 20 minutes, we just gonna rock. But it's one of those things where you get the experience of by the time we got done, I done been in front of crowds that was looking at you. But then when you get done performing and they go into the intermission for the next act, motherfuckers is coming to you like, yo, man, that shit was dope. And we looking at you like, motherfucker, you was just sitting there, you know, just chilling. But you have to go through that shit. So these new artists, listen, I'm all for it. Like, 'cause I'm all for the culture moving forward. And sometimes you ain't going to agree with every advanced, you know, part of the culture. But if you don't do it in real time, it's hard to really judge it. Like, sitting at the crib, making your music, but getting it mixed mastered and all that shit, and then getting your artwork and presenting it to the people, and it's like a certain way to somebody that don't know you, or if you go out of town and you doing some networking out of town and shit, and motherfuckers looking, oh, this is dope, oh, it sound good. That's cool. Yeah. But at the end of the day, they still got to get on the stage. They still got to rock. And if they true and they say, motherfucker, I'm from Ohio, somebody is going to be like, who? Yeah. Like, who's that? Like, that's the way I look at it. Like, ain't nobody, if I go to Atlanta and go to Detroit, go to motherfucking Miami, go to Atlanta, LA, and I scream out I'm from Columbus, Ohio and shit, there's going to be motherfuckers who know who the fuck I am. Like, oh, I know who that is. You know, there's dude, I done heard people yell out names. And I don't disrespect people, but I'm like, who's that? And they'll fucking talk about, well, he's streaming. Like, his streams is like, and I'm like, dude.
He not out here with the people, though.
He's not part of the culture to the point where the people know who you fuck you are.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like.
That's game right there, y'all.
You know, it's like, to me, I would encourage anybody, any artist in this city specifically, who talking about it, is get out and like let people see your face to know who the fuck you are, so they can know, like, you know.
Let's work.
That's why we appreciate Wallaby so much, because everybody in the city knows him.
Yeah, everybody know Wallow. Like, everybody know him. Yeah.
That's my bro, man. Yeah, that's my bro, man.
The realest. Hey, shout out to the realest.
That's my bro.
For sure. Always know your worth, man. Yeah, that's that guy. Now, real quick though, too, before we go to the next one, because I'm still getting hip, like, to the history of the music in the city too. Tell us, everybody that's in the group Third Power.
Third Power, the fun thing about Third Power is Third Power has so many different members. But as we was growing up and shit, but the official people that's in Third Power, Rashad, me, COC, Blacksmith, and a guy named Shakes. Okay. And that was the last member. When Shake stopped doing music, we just kept it to Blacksmith, COC, me, and Rashad. And that's the third. And I won't give nobody else the title,
the stamp,
because we all got a tattoo of the third on us. Those 5 cats, and Dion, and Big D. Dion he used to rap when we was in middle school, but he's a DJ now, and he don't rap, but he got a tattoo too.
For sure.
You know, so if you got a tattoo, you in the Third Power.
Shout out to all the original members of the Third.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You plan on doing any more Third music?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Because you and COC has y'all's label, but then Rashad still has Elevator Music. But the group is signed to Elevator Music, right?
Okay. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't. If I had to really, if you maybe put money on it and say, I would say no.
I gotta give because one more. That Attack of the Drum, the fire. Like, if I could give y'all 5 mics, I would.
But you ain't heard the cause see that if you read it, that was Act 1. Yeah. There was supposed to be like 3 acts, and there's still probably, there got to be about 7, maybe records sitting around that we were supposed to go into Act 2, but it just didn't work. It just didn't. It just everything just everybody kind of went their own, and that's the only reason why I say that, because Rashad was digging more into his R&B stuff. Okay. Cole had just started working on his solo with Rashad, and I know Rashad how meticulous he is.
And the styly stuff.
And styly stuff. And then I just said, well, I gotta get this North City shit popping with my brother Lou. And then Cole was still working with Rashad heavy, and I just started building this North City shit with my other partner Lou, and that's where it's at. Because if you look at the Third, Rashad's, I think, still heavy his R&B bag, but he's producing, because he got a couple records on me and Cole. Me and Cole working on our project now, and he got a couple records on there, which is dope.
You working with Jack Harlow too, right?
He's been working with Jack Harlow. I don't know what he's doing now. I know when he released them records.
Gang or something.
Was that 23?
No, that was early this year, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. That's the thing.
can't remember.
I feel like it was 23, but it might have been early 24.
Because I thought that video came out this year. I thought.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That Gang.
Jack Harlow. He did a Gang record, and there was another one. I like the other one record better. He had 2 records on his project,
Yeah.
but I think they did like 5, 6, 7 records or something like that. I think from what they had told me. So I know he's in his R&B shit real heavy, and he's always gonna be producing. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the Third Power, nah, because I don't know, Blacksmith ain't really did too much shit. And Cole is super solo and then super with the Burlington Brothers. Yeah. And we just doing. It's like you got to work with the cats that's still working and still going heavy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I work with AU so heavy, because AU's a motherfucking robot and shit.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, man, it's like bro has it's like a coalition, like it's a squad. You know what I mean? That's really tapped in with bro heavy. Have y'all considered possibly, like, I mean, not making rearranging the group, but like making a new group of like the guys that's really locked in now? Like, it's a group of veterans that's still out here consistent right now.
Really, my group, the only group I'm in right now is Burlington Brothers with me and Cole. Okay. Everything else is solo. I do have some group shit that I do with my brother Luke with North City. But nah, I mean, we solo. Okay. We all move solo. Except me and Cole, but it's easy with me and Cole because we literally brothers. So it's like it's easy to tap in with him. And but I'm gonna work with Wallaby. I mean, we talk. I've known Wallaby for my God, we was kids. We was in high school. Like, he went to high school with my ex-wife. So it's like he knew her and some of her family before I met her. Even though I went to middle school with her, it was like he knew them. So it's like I've known him forever. I got a project I'm working on with Young Wise. And that shit, listen here. That nigga, I've known him since I was like 14. And he was like 11, 12 years old. Like, I've known him since we was all doing this shit so young. So I've known him forever. So it's not necessarily a group, but we doing projects together and shit. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have some more work with Wallaby and shit. Okay. Yeah. And hopefully we do some clothes and shit together with Wallaby too. You know what I'm saying? So
let me ask you this too, just your take on this. What is it about AU that, as far as the sound goes, that's got a lot of like I would say like the more respected artists in Columbus working with him? It's a lot of guys out there that have projects with him, but it's more like on the veteran side. So what is it about AU sound that, you know, like some of the vets really gravitate to?
I don't even know if it's the sound.
Maybe it's just the relationship.
It's the AU's a real good dude. I know some of his OG people that I went to high school with, because he went to the same high school, but he was just younger than us, so he didn't go there when we went there. I think with AU, it's more of his because I tell him this all the time. When I met AU was probably right when he was coming out of high school. The first thing he did for the Third Power was a song called Success. On we had a mixtape called Club in the Car in 2008, and he did a song called Success. And back around that time, AU's beats were so fire, but the foundation of the beat was the same. Like, he would have the way his drums broke down and the way his drums were, it was the same. But then he had different samples and all type of different sounds and shit, but the drums were the same. So you knew AU beat. And then as we got in 2010s and stuff and going into the 20s, it started changing. And so I don't know if it's the sound, because I don't even look AU for a particular sound. It's who he is, and it's his work ethic. Like, AU is I'm telling you, man. This nigga got in a car accident last year and fucked his whole shit up. And it was almost like, as soon as he could move a fucking around like this, nigga, he
back to what?
Dude, I don't know. And even before that shit, I remember when we were in the pandemic and we did a show down here at 92.9 or whatever, before they closed it downtown at the big room. And I said it on the mic when we was taping this fucking pandemic show. I said, this motherfucker, he like Professor X from the X-Men. He's not real. He's not a real motherfucker, dude. So I think more so AU, if you come to AU with whatever ideas you got, AU ain't gonna be no motherfucker that you gotta call him again like, hey man, what's up with them beats? Nah, if you say, look, hey man, and your money right there too, and you can make sure you paying for your shit, dude, he gonna have them shits tomorrow. And then he gonna give you, if you come to record, he gonna give you a little rough mix that day or the next day. He gonna send you some of the email just to let you know, okay, it's what it sound like. It ain't mixed all the way yet, but it's what it sound like. His return on the work and shit, he works like this. I think that's, to me, in my opinion, it's more not the sound, because he can go a lot of different sounds. So it's not on one sound. Plus, but I think that's what it is because when you look at Columbus and Ohio, besides the whole West Coast sound really being Ohio,
Talk about it.
we have such a melting pot here in Columbus and Ohio.
Yeah.
There ain't no sound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can go
okay.
like all these different ways. So he kind of embodies that. Because even Rashad's sound is a fucking amazing. But Rashad makes super soul poundy ass music, and you can tell Rashad did that shit.
Yeah.
He has his own signature. And you got like 3-4 signatures. Like Shad has that though. I grew up with this nigga. Shad can go be Pharrell and do all this weird shit. But he says, no, I like my super soul shit. I'm going to stay in this box, and I'm going to make these motherfucking poundy ass beats.
Yeah.
AU, the reason why he is so who he is his work ethic, and because he can do 6-7 different things. He don't care. He'll go do some shit over this way, and it sound different than what he do over here.
Yeah,
Stuff he did with
you
Pete
right
Black
about
and
that.
Stuff he used to do with Nest.
It's different as fuck.
Just in the
Yeah.
Keith's got me hip to him, of course. Just in like, cause I've done some collab like reels and stuff with him. Just in probably like the 6 months? You know what I mean? Like 6 months of me paying attention to bro. I've seen him drop like 3. There's like 3 different beat tapes I could think of. One is wrestling inspired. One is lo-fi inspired. One is outer space inspired. It's like 3 completely different things. I had to make reels entirely different from the last one because it was something completely different sounding now. Like, you right about that, man. That's cool. That's cool. Shout out to the AU, man. Shout out to him, man, for sure.
One of the dope things about him is my big bro J. Rawls always says this shit. He be like, man, die empty. Like a lot of artists, some artists, especially older artists, sometimes they'll have fucking catalogs and hard drives and shit. You know, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? It's always cool sometimes when you die one day, somebody gonna be like, yo, this nigga PA got 30 songs
that
right
unreleased.
here. And you might be able to still feed your family for fucking 20 years on this shit.
Shout out to Tupac.
But at the end of the day, it's like J. Rawls will always be like, man, die empty, like put all that shit out. And that's to me, that's what AU embodies.
He does.
When he has an idea, he creates it. And to me, when you put out shit, it's like having a kid. You know, put that shit out and let people just love your creations. And he does that shit and just keeps doing it and keeps doing it and keeps doing it. So that to me is one of the easiest people to work with. Plus, he was a big fan of mine, which is a benefit of being a OG. And he was always just ready to work with us and shit. So he was always excited. He always worked. He ain't lazy. He goes fucking hard. And he gonna show the fuck up. You know, so, you know.
Simple as that. We're gonna get him in here for sure. It's on the way.
Got to.
Yeah,
Got to, man.
it's on the way.
So my next question for you, can you talk to us about your 2020 album, Sleeping Giant?
Niggas here. It's in here. Yeah, I mean, in general, you got a particular question. I mean,
the process of creating that and everything?
The process, it did come out 21 on January 1st. So everything was done in 2020.
Okay.
It really was how I want to say this. It was I'm such a group nigga to a fault. Like when we left Elevator, as far as producing music all the time for Elevator and went over to North City, like I had to do it in a certain way. I didn't want to just say, okay, North City, about to do a solo project. No, we did The Cure, which was like our version of The Chronic. Because the Third had did that when we first started. We did an album called That Dookie, which was inspired by The Chronic with all the niggas and you know. So we did That Dookie with me and Kaz and fucking Co and Lou and the AU executive produced that shit.
Okay.
Then everybody started doing solo projects. Kaz did one, Lou did one. Co was still working with Rashad doing his. So them with Kaz and Lou doing their solo projects in 2020, putting them out in 2020 October, they was just pushing me to just finish my shit. And I had been working on it all that time, but we finally got done in December of 20 and then put it out January 21. It was a little bit tedious because I'm not a perfectionist, but your first album is like you want to pour a lot of shit into it because you got all these years of influences and all these years of doing songs and shit. So I tried to make probably the biggest album I'm gonna make, as far as it was 16 songs on there, 18 tracks, 16 songs. It was fun as hell. I got to work with shit. I mean, of course, AU, but my brother, BHB's on there.
Yeah.
Who else is on there? Trig on there. Trig, no.
BHB, that's family, right?
That's family.
Yeah. BHB's on there. Who else is on there? Cole's on there. Lute's on there. Kaz Oliver's on there. C10's on there. Wallaby's on there.
The whole crew.
That's a lineup right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot. Man, I love, and it's funny because people be trying to tell me to cut down the features. I love features.
We need more of those in the city.
Mhm.
We got so many. I mean, especially on the younger tip.
Mhm.
You know, the younger artists. We need more features. We need more people working together. We want to hear the
Yeah.
sounds mix and see if it works.
Yeah, I mean, I just love doing it, but they be on my ass like, nigga, just go in there and do you, man. Just you know. So I'm with all the projects I'm working on now. I'm contemplating. I'm gonna try to make the features a little more selective, but I might not. I might just be OPA and be like, fuck it. I want 3 or 4 niggas on this and. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun to do it, and I'm still promoting that project, man, because it didn't touch all the places in the world that it needed to touch.
Mm-hmm.
So in 25, expect even though we got new music coming out.
Still pushing that.
Oh, we still gonna push that. It's gonna show up in some places that it didn't touch this year. So
what's the song that you like most off of there, or what's the song that you kind of saw the most success and feedback off of there?
the most success off that album was a couple of different ways. The J. Rawls song. Called Sleepwalkers. It's just because, dude, listen here. They played that shit in a couple spots in New York, just on these playlists that was just powerful ass playlists that motherfuckers was tuned into. They was playing my shit like before, like literally before I forget who it was. It was Jay-Z and Nipsey record. And they played my shit right before that shit. I was like, oh damn, these niggas wasn't playing. But it was the J. Rawls shit. J. Rawls is a motherfucker. Listen, if you don't know who the fuck, anybody don't know J. Rawls is listening to this shit. You need to Google that motherfucker. He's the fucking most prominent producer out of Columbus ever.
Yeah.
And he's not even like, he just got, to me, super famous this year. But if you knew 20 years ago, dude, I met him through Rashad. He's one of my biggest fans when we was teenagers, and they call him International Rawls for a reason and shit. So my favorite song off my album is called Northside Southside. Has Veda on it, Veda Azim, legend. That's my little bro. He's a legend.
Yeah.
That's my favorite song, produced by AU. But I got the most traction off of the J. Rawls record because I didn't have to do nothing to it.
Yeah.
I didn't have to put no money into nothing, pushing it. It was just like once certain people invested in New York heard, oh, this J. Rawls, okay, they would play it. And it has more of a foundational hip hop sound. It's just drums.
Okay.
It's just clapping drums and break beat and come back around. Letting you rap on that bitch. So
Have you and J. Ross ever considered doing a project together?
I don't think we talked about it.
We need that to happen.
Well, listen.
We need that.
Listen.
J. Ross, if you watch it, we need that.
Yeah, well, I'm
Let's
gonna
make it happen.
I'm make sure you hear this. We need to because I think we're gonna try to get him on me and Cole's project. And matter of fact, I got a track from him that's just laying around. I think Kaz was using it. I don't think he's using it, so I need to grab that. But I gotta keep working with Rawls, and it's like a cheat code. But it's my big bro, so it's like
you got 3 cheat codes: AU, Rashad, and J. Ross.
Listen. I mean, anytime I'm blessed, man. Like I said, man, I've done a lot of work in this shit, but I'm still like in Wallaby. I was just talking about the other day, and he said this. She's like, we just get started, PA. Like, we really just getting started.
Yeah.
Because
Columbus on our way.
As long as you keep making music and keep making because I mean, when you in my generation, cats was always we never seen cats go past 30 and really be still excited rapping. It's like, but when you look at all the other genres of music, them motherfuckers be 60, 70 years old, getting bags and shit, going on tours. Like, listen, I'm not gonna let these niggas shortchange hip hop music. Like, fuck that. We gonna be 60. There's gonna be 60-year-old niggas. Like, I don't give a fuck. I ain't saying that you.
It's not gonna be maybe the main thing that you do.
Well, even if it is, it's like, nigga, you 60. There's other 60-year-old niggas that want to hear you, nigga. They don't want to hear no 20-year-old nigga. Unless it's their nephew.
Yeah, like if
then they be like, that's my little nephew, but nigga, I don't want to hear. I don't know what the fuck you talking about, nigga.
And to be honest, the older rappers this year been killing it. Dre,
Killer Mike out here getting Grammys
and shit. You gotta think Future is in his 40s. You know what I mean? He dropped 3 albums this year. Me and Hus were actually just talking about this yesterday. It's one of those things where I don't think there's like that expiration date or like you're like too old for this now. You know, like how it used to be. I think it's just like when you get to like the older age, it's probably expected that you do something else other than just be still a rapper.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like if you're
Yeah.
like the guy who's like 60 and like you're still the rapper, like it's like nothing really else to you. That might be when people be like, they gotta be, you know, what's up to this guy. But if you like, you know, well established, man, there's other stuff. You look at like Wallaby. Shoot, Wallaby gonna definitely still be 60 doing this. Look at all the other stuff he's doing. People gonna still want to listen to him for sure because of all the other stuff he's doing around being the rapper.
Yeah.
When you got like other stuff to you other than just I'm a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom. Because if you're gonna just be the rapper, you're gonna always have to keep up with the trends. You're gonna have to because it's the young people that's keeping that alive. The young people are the ones that's following the new trends. So if you're gonna just be the rapper, I would say you gotta like be trying to keep up with them. Then that's when they get a little tough.
I think that listen, they've been talking about this. I'm not sure if you hit. They've been talking about trying to make an adult contemporary category,
like starting to sub genres within
Yeah,
rap.
like,
Exactly.
yeah. I mean,
exactly.
because
Stuff like that
you
changes the game.
You shouldn't be competing with the 20-year-old.
Yeah,
That's the
what
thing.
I'm saying.
You should be like, if I'm dropping something, I should be in a category with Method Man or Redman
Exactly.
or the Locks and Common, all them.
People
Just
from that
And if
era
you're
and
making
generation.
we make mature ass grown.
That's exactly
See, that's the
grown-ass
difference
music and
too.
shit.
See, that's the thing. Like, this is like kind of where our conversation went yesterday. That's the thing. It's like it's so many variables because it depends on what you're talking about too. Are you the 50, 60-year-old guy that's still talking like street shit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or are you like on some grown man? You know what I mean? Like,
That's so stupid.
What-
People hated when Jay-Z made 444.
why?
They're stupid.
That's the grown. I mean, it's grown Jay-Z. Like, you still want him to be reasonable doubt? You know what I'm saying?
Like
Like,
married with all these children and shit. Come on.
you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, come on.
if the maturity, I think when the maturity is in the sound too, then it's definitely respected.
Yeah.
It's just like when, because I mean, it's plenty of artists we probably know too. They'd be like, they're a certain age, they married, they moving completely different, but they still rap in a certain way. It's not hitting
Yeah,
no more.
your art should kind of represent, like you just said, if you in your 40s, 50s, and you got real estate ventures that you're doing, if you got a store that you operate or something, if you like us kind of too, like when my kids was growing, I was coach real heavy, so we still into sports real heavy, where we getting into some fashion with the jerseys and sport and coaching and mentoring kids like Wallaby do too, to stay out the streets. It's like your life is going to represent like what you talking about. So if you was to follow this nigga, if you sit here and go see Wallaby, go see me. You gonna see us going around some kids, talking to some kids, coaching kids. I'm going to see my son play. He the basketball. He playing. He in the marching band, the concert band, all these bands. We going around them, talking to kids. It's like that's what your music is going to eventually even be talking about. If I'm sitting there talking about I'm still doing some 20-year-old shit, that's entertainment. That's and I ain't mad at it all the way. I mean, cats, they gonna do whatever
Game
they
is
can
game,
do.
yeah.
You
You know.
Some people don't know how to make. I remember talking. I'll be honest. And I'll throw them under the bus because my nigga C10. One time we had this record that was on his album. It was called Big Dipper, produced by Rashad, and he had wrote some ratchet shit to this beat, and I didn't know because he had the beat. And then when he said, "Yeah, I want to throw PA on the record," so I told him what I wrote to the shit, and it was a little more refined and shit.
Style.
It was still gutter and some shit talking shit, but he was like, "Man, I had to write it over, man, real quick." Cause he said, "I wrote some old ratchet shit to that beat." You know, it was like he was like, "Man, but y'all niggas is real good at making like a mature ass kind of music
something
and shit."
that ages well.
Yeah, I mean, just because we know, I know how to look in the mirror and see what the fuck I'm looking at, and I know how I come across to people and shit. But I'm blessed enough to where my son, that's my middle son, is 15. And he'd tell me, like, when he was like 7, we was at school one day for some parent shit where you come with the kids and shit, and he was like, his friend was looking at me like, he's like, "Man, your dad don't embarrass you?" Like, my dad, he's like, "My dad cool." And he's like, you know, he's like I'm cool to my kids because I'm who the fuck I am.
Exactly.
I don't be trying to be all like a student shit. You know, I just be like, listen, I'm a hip hop ass nigga. Like
we PA flags.
But it was like I think his friend was like a little Jewish kid or some shit. And he was like, his dad. I thought his dad was cool because I'm a nerd at heart. I'm really like a word. Read books, motherfucking nerdy ass nigga. His dad was like
bars
that.
be coming from though.
Yeah, I mean,
bars
but I tell people all the time, like, nigga, I read books, nigga. Like, I don't do audio books like that. I can, but nigga, no, I read books that you flip through the pages.
That's
nigga.
the best way.
Like,
to
I'm just
receive
like I'm a smart dude. It's like there's nothing wrong with being smart,
Intelligent.
black man. It's like,
Mhm.
but and try to carry it the right way so it look cool. Like, but I still talk my shit. I cuss, and I talk like this around my kids, and they know that shit, and they do the same thing. I know they cuss and shit when they walk into the next room and shit, and I ain't there. I know how to represent myself authentically, and that's why I can be my age and still make the music I want to make. And it's not gonna sound like I'm trying to be cool, but it's gonna listen.
But it's gonna still
my
hit,
music
though.
still gonna sound better than a lot of y'all niggas. A lot of y'all little niggas that's half my age, push play on my shit, and you gonna be like, damn, that shit sound.
That's just solid, yeah. Honestly, man, it too, like the time we in now, where really there's definitely no expiration date or none of that stuff anymore, because it's all about if you have people that want to listen. Right. If you got a following and people who are like, yes, that's all that matters. It don't matter if it's actually good, if he's really lyrically inclined and stuff. If you have enough people who are backing you and like, I'm with him regardless, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
You know what I mean?
That's
So, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's some of your 2025 goals?
Damn, man. I think the main thing is to get this damn book out that I've been trying to finish since 2012 and shit. Because I've been a fucking asshole on this book. Oh, gosh. I want to finish that because there's going to be like a soundtrack to go with the book, some music and some merch and stuff like that. That's one of the biggest ones. I want to finish. I'm doing a project with Young Wise, a guy that raised the GOAT. I'm doing the Brithington Brothers with Breath of Fire. I want to finish my Black Gold EP with AU. I have another project that my dude Blaze is helping me with. It's called Hear My Dear. That's a solo project. And then, is that it? Yeah, and it's like, so I want to finish those, and I want to put those. I mean, they might. I don't know if they'll all come out, but they might. I mean, because they're not going to be. I'm not going to do long. I don't think I'm going to do like the real long project like I did with Sleeping Giants. So,
well, like around 10 songs, you think, or
some of them going to be less than that. Some of them going to be
like an EP.
Yeah.
Okay.
The max will probably be like a 10 joint. You might get the 5s. They won't be less than 5 though. No, I ain't gonna cheat nobody like that. But
yeah, don't do us with the, you know what I'm saying, the little 3-pack. You know, they've been doing 3-packs a lot lately. You got at least 5.
I mean, if the only way that would do that is if it just made sense. Like if the project just made sense to do 3, and I don't know, but I think that's all the projects, and then the book. I just really want to make it. I want to in general just have North City be strong this year. With what we're doing, with shows, with the music, and even with the merch. Like we've been really in the lab trying to come up with different stuff with the merch, just to try to get it to that bag heavy too this year. So it really is the music is the easy part, because I've done that for so long. So with the merch in the book, and just developing some different products, you know what I'm saying, to kind of hit it from a little different angle. So that's if that makes sense with the goal this year. Yeah.
That's a good goal to have.
Name some artists that you like what they're doing in the city that you like to work with this upcoming year. I mean, outside of, you know, obviously the group. Who's somebody that you like what they're doing, you like to collab with them if it lines up?
The bad part about me is I don't listen to a lot of stuff, because that's how I create. It's hard for me to listen, because I learned when I was younger that if I listened to a lot of people's music, I would start sounding like them, shit. So I would get really, really nerdy, like finicky, who I listen to. An artist named Tobilla, Northside cat. He's really dope. I don't know if he's put that down the last couple of years, but I like him a whole lot. Besides the Young Wise, besides the Wallaby, I don't have Jay Cartesian. I know he's been doing some stuff with my brother.
Okay.
I got to do something with him.
Jay Cartesian.
Dude, I'm not like people would have to give me hip to cats. Like I told you a little bit ago, there's a lot of cats that I know that are dope that I don't have no clue.
I mean, I'm learning.
If they don't.
Because of Keys, I've been
don't.
learning like so
Yeah.
many people this year. You know, once I like he kind of got me hip to some people, and I was like, all right, now I gotta start looking. Now I gotta start tapping in and figure out who's who.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm learning a lot too. It's a ton of talent we got out here, man.
But I'll still work with like I said, Veda. I was so happy to get him on my album because I don't think he don't make a lot of music no more, but he'll make a little bit. Then Trigno.
Shout out to Trig.
Trig is my little bro. Like that. It's funny because met him because he was working with my ex-wife. He was working with her, and then he seen the third perform at Confest one year. And I had went up to her job to give her some food or some shit. And I remember he was like, I seen him walking up to me like, yo, man, you the third, right? I'm like, yeah. And then ever since then, because the one thing I'll say about the Smell Like Trig, Veda's the same way, is that there's some cats that they, no matter how much they admire you, no matter how they just see you do this show and they just love it. A lot of cats won't give you they'll just kind of sit there and be like, be hardcore and shit. Like he was one of them niggas that came to you like, yo man, like, dude, like that shit was amazing. So I want to do some more shit with him, and then even with him, like it's another dope talk. I don't know if you familiar with at Lincoln Theater. They had this camp down there called Patterns. It's in the summer that my daughter was a part of. Until this year, like when you get 13, they fucking you can't be in the camp no more. But Trig worked down there with and he know my daughter and shit. So when I come when my daughter come home like, Dad, I met DJ O and Trig, Mr. Trig, and so I love them niggas. So nigga, listen, I want to do some more work with him because he can sing, fucking dance, DJ, rap. He's fucking a whole fucking Swiss Army knife and shit. So I would love to do some more shit with Trig, man. Trig is super dope.
Shout out to him. We're gonna put something together.
Yeah. And plus I'll put it out there, like most producers, if you know some shit that will fit with me, or like you would think that you would want me to team up with somebody, like just throw that shit out there. Just hit me in a DM or something. Just to, cause I don't, my brother is like, Coast City, shout out to my brother. I love my big brother. He is like every Friday, bro. He texts Thursday, hey man, such and such come out tomorrow. Such and such come out tomorrow. And I'll be like, all right, and I might listen to it. The last time somebody came out and I actually listened was the GNX shit with Kendrick. Because I just kind of I was like, I gotta see what you're talking about next. I just gotta see what he's about to say. But that's the only thing. I mean, I still want to listen to the Snoop album. But I haven't yet, and I just don't listen to people's shit. So it's like somebody has to be like, yo, no, listen to this, like this, or he'll send me a song, I'll listen to it, but he'll send me a whole link to somebody's album, and I'll be at work, or I'll be just be I'll be somewhere on some Netflix shit or on YouTube, and I'll be like, I ain't trying to listen to this shit right now. I'm just really not. So I'll be having somebody got to force feed me some shit. So any nigga in Columbus that niggas feel like I would work well with or sound well with, let me know so I can check that shit out.
What did you think of Kendrick's new album?
I thought it was great. I thought it was a great, and this is coming, I'll be honest, this is coming from, I'm Drake nigga, you understand. I'm Drake, I will say it unapologetically, I done got arguments over this shit for years. I am a Drake nigga, because I like songs. And I'm not I'll keep it to the question you asked me. I thought it was well put together. I'm not a huge Kendrick voice nigga. I think artistically he's fucking amazing. I think lyrically he's dope. His vision's always dope. He puts together really good cohesive albums and projects and shit, which is what I appreciate about him. But I don't like his voice sometimes when he starts being in his bag. Like when he goes in, his voice goes into this place, and I'd be like, but to me the songs were so good on this album that I couldn't stop listening to it. I just kept listening. I'm like, okay, damn, okay. But I really like the Dodger Blue shit. I like the fucking Whacked Out Murals and the Hard Part 6. Those are my three that I downloaded real quick. But that Dodger Blue shit is like, oh my god, that made me want to be a fucking like Crip or some shit. That made me want to know how to do all the dance shit or a blood or something. I was like, damn, that shit is dope. Yeah.
What did you think about the battle with Drake?
I was disappointed, man. I'm a Drake fan. Nigga. I'm a big Drake fan. I really am. But I know that, and it's funny because working with Stolly years ago, I remember Stolly said, I'll never forget this. I will never forget this my whole life. We was in the studio and Stolly was like, man, nigga Drake's corny as fuck, yeah. And I was like, and this is before he blew. Well, he was, No, he was popping, but he was so new that people didn't know he was gonna last like all them years and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so I thought it was dope, but he was like, but I understood this is a biracial Jewish kid. Like I mean, when he said he's corny, I was like, I get it. Yeah, he's probably a nigga that get in the studio, can make some dope shit, but you sit down and talk to this nigga, you like, damn, this nigga corny as fuck. Yeah. You know? So I was disappointed. I was so mad because I was like, you helped Kendrick when he was new, took him on tour, put him on your album. People who think that's his best album, he had his own little song on there and shit. But then like the one thing about this industry is you supposed to, when you're behind the scenes, you know these people. Yeah. Like they know the dumb shit you be doing. They know you be fucking allegedly fucking everybody's girl and shit and all that. Like you know probably who you not supposed to fuck with. You know what I'm saying? So to me, Drake should have probably knew this nigga you might not want to push the button. And then you seen Cole was like,
Cole
okay,
was like,
I'm cool.
out of there.
I'm cool, I'm not about to push because you can't be cool. Some of that shit you can't be cool with no more.
Yeah,
like you can't say that shit about me and I'm like, oh, are we cool?
Yeah, just laugh it off.
We fight the fight, nigga. Yeah, but once you go, I was disappointed. Yeah. Because Drake, I feel like Drake, I like the records. I like the records, but they just didn't. No, I like all the records that he did. It just was the Kendrick's had more impact,
more punch, and
stuff especially the Not Like Us shit.
Yeah.
It just
he gave the Meek Mill treatment.
Yeah,
he made a hit out of it. Yeah, that was all she wrote after that. Yeah.
So I just don't think it was well thought out.
They said that wasn't even the original songs Kendrick wanted to release. He said he waited for Drake to say his wife's name. He said there was a whole nother set. He said you either go personal or keep it just friendly. They said Kendrick recorded a whole nother set of songs.
And then if I remember, because I haven't listened to the whole GNX again. I just listened to them 3 records, but ain't there a couple other songs with that sample or something, or like the Not Like Us, like it sounds like a tweak different, like
knuckle up, squabble up,
3 times.
Yeah. So artistically, listen, and this is why I tell people all about the big 3, whatever they call them. It's messed up because I'm salty because Big Sean is not in that group. Because Big Sean is fucking amazing. But out of them 3, I mean, to me, J. Cole's the best rapper out of all them. Yeah. Like, if you just get in the room and start rapping, J. Cole's the best rapper out of Drake, and by far, to me. Yeah. The best artist, album maker, like, nigga that's painting pictures and shit, is Kendrick and shit. And then the nigga make them bops, songs. The nigga make them motherfucking bops, boy. He's like, and people be mad because he do the Kanye shit. He writes for motherfuckers, but he get in there, and I remember Kanye said this a long time ago. He said, a real artist know how to steal your shit. Real artists would be in the room, and y'all niggas would be throwing out ideas, just talking shit, we smoking, and you like, yeah, nigga. And I'm over here listening, like, what
soaking it up,
What do you say? And then I go in the studio, I'm going to take 2-3 lines you said, 2-3 lines you said, and put that shit in there, and you ain't going to notice till later, like, hold on, nigga. Did I say that?
Cooked up,
yeah, so it's like, and it's what it is. I done been in the studio with niggas. We all do that to a certain extent. Some people do it more than others.
That leads me right into my next question. Now, let's talk about the Ghost Rider. Let's get there. Perfect time. But not even about like who you've ghostwritten for, but like what's your take on ghostwriting? Like based off the fact you said you're a big Drake fan, and we know for sure, I mean, he's had people assisting him on these hits. What's your take on that? And like the overall, is that just, hey man, that's how the game go, or is there levels to it where it's like, well, you don't be writing enough though? You know, how does that work?
My whole opinion, and I go back to like the late '90s, early 2000s, where we used to have some of the best. Because I grew up with the East Coast ear, like heavy East Coast, Philly, and New York shit, rappers, and I used to always get mad when these niggas can rap, nigga. I'm talking about like, but when you compare as hip hop got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, it's for you to compete with other genres. You got to have good songs, and cats didn't know how to write hooks like that.
Philly, right?
I'm just talking about rappers, period.
Okay,
when I say this, I'm just saying when I grew up, before the West Coast like took over or like had they run,
East Coast.
It was. I mean, we grew up on Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx. Like mainly it was New York shit.
That's where it started.
But some of my favorite MCs is Philly MCs. So it's like it was just East Coast period that we grew up, talking that slang and wanting to be like that and shit. We used to get criticized for fucking using that slang and shit. But I would hear rappers that just they bars crazy, but it just wasn't songs. Like when the hook come around, it would get real mediocre, or it would get real regular and shit. And then like when you had niggas like Pharrell come around, and like you would see like nigga he's writing these hooks, and he's writing these bridges and these intros and outros that make a whole song.
Yeah.
Cats would kind of be like, they would look at you a little bit different, but I'm like, dude, man, nigga.
You need somebody like
I
that.
like, if you listen to gospel, blues, R&B, pop music, you listen to alternative music, you listen to, if you and I come from an era where we read the credits because you had to buy that shit. Wasn't no streaming, so you had to go to the fucking get the CD or the tape at Camelot Music or one of these places, and we open that bitch, and you would see all the
every song.
You see the
get
lyrics,
the credits,
or you see who wrote it, who produced
the
it.
real names too. You get to find out what their real name was. That way.
But if you go and you look at the gospel shit, it's 10 people on there. It might be a sample or interpolation where they took an influence from somebody. You gotta give them credit, but it's like it's 10 people. So you
get to looking at it like, wait a minute, it really wasn't you who made the song all like that. It was a whole group of y'all that made it.
Yeah. And if you look at Michael Jackson's, them artists where it's like, dude, them niggas really like. And Kanye is notorious, they said, for giving niggas credit for having a line, one line, and then nigga name be in there, and he gave credit for that shit. So it's like, but I do understand hip hop came and was birthed a different way. It was birthed from being original and like you being this nigga Beanie Siegel from Siegel Street in Philly. Like that's what you represent. That's when they hear you, that's what they want to hear. They want to hear this nigga. I get it. So you can't, so it is hard to say, like for somebody like Drake, it's hard for you to say I'm top 5 because he does R&B shit too, and he don't write all them songs. He done bought some of them songs from other artists and just sings them. I ain't mad. I ain't mad at the bops because nigga I love the bops. But I do get when people say you can't say that you this. But this is what I say now. Just speaking particularly about Drake, nigga, listen. Anybody that say Drake can't rap,
I was just
ain't never listened to some
Drake
shit.
has
Go all the way back.
He's been solidified. You ain't got to go that far back because if you keep it a buck, no matter like his albums have different themes. Like ever since like Her Loss and all that, it's been like a different theme every single time. At the end of every album though, he always give you that real Drake at the end. It's always a track with, no matter who he collab with, whatever. It's always gonna be that song with just him on it, and he gonna be giving you that real Drake, like real rap. He do it all the time. Like it's never really went away. It's just. He's a music artist, man. He's great at it too. Like he knows how to make the songs. But that real rap is still there. He got that.
I mean, so to really to answer the question is, I'm a bottom line motherfucker. I'm a results driven motherfucker. I want to hear. I would fuck the pain. Show me the baby and shit. I don't want to hear. But unless you about to die on the birthing table, just let me see the baby when it come out. They got the 10 toes, got 10 fingers. I want to see the baby at the end.
Product, right?
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get super mad like, oh nah, I came up with that. I mean, you listen to Third Power. I'll be honest with you, nigga. A lot of them songs, my songs and shit. You want to get a lot of the songs we put out was my songs, nigga. I ain't finished the shit, and all of a sudden I come in there, my brother on that bitch, Black on that motherfucker, and it's all of a sudden the third song. I ain't care. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna come up with songs like this and shit. So it's like the Beatles, nigga. Paul McCartney and motherfucking John Lennon used to argue over motherfucker. I wrote that. No, I wrote that. They was all in there motherfucking smoking and fucking doing acid and shit. They all in there fucked up, just throwing shit together, and it's a song. And at the end, they gonna argue over nigga. No, that's my line. No, that's my line. It is music is collaborative effort. You know what I'm saying? So people, I think, wanted to pick that. And this is I remember years ago I got an argument with my cousin over Drake and Kendrick, and it was Drake and Kendrick, and he was like, man, I like Drake, man, when he be rapping, man, but when he starts singing, man, I be like, and at that point in time, that was the Kendrick had the record out, cause I know just what you want. And I said he be singing like, I said Drake be singing like that, like jumping like this, and I started singing the Kendrick shit, and he just looked down like. I'm like, nigga, he sing too, nigga. Right. And if you be surprised, nigga, all your favorite artists, they go into the studio sometimes and they just rap, nigga. They go in there and niggas push play and there's a hook already there. There's a bridge already there. Sometimes there's like 2 bars. And I know Lil Wayne did that shit, nigga. They go in there, motherfucker, them motherfuckers have laid out the song. And you just gotta be Weezy, nigga. Go be Weezy. A couple verses, nigga. Don't be, nigga. your favorite artists do that shit.
Oh,
Trust
for
me,
sure.
believe me. They just don't get.
If they
Total
smart,
on
they
this
do.
shit.
You know, if they
Yeah.
smart, they do.
if I went into the studio right now and Pharrell was sitting right there like, PA nigga, listen.
Bro, all you gotta do is go in there and do this.
And he hit play, nigga. You think I'm being it? Hey man, take that hook off there, man.
Like, nah, that
I
ain't
got
me.
a hook, nigga. It's Pharrell, nigga. I'm gonna go in there and rap these. I'm gonna do 2 verses, and I'm gonna be happy to
Finish up that banger.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I mean, if a nigga know what they doing, I'm not gonna go in there with a dusty nigga and this shit sounds terrible, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, let's go do this shit.
Right.
You know, but somebody's accomplished, somebody that know how to write, nigga, shit. Rick Rubin, I don't give a fuck who it is, nigga. They know what the fuck they doing. I'm gonna go in there and do it. And most people would. Most people you hear speaking about some of this shit, man, don't even make good music like that, man.
Yeah. Now, let's see what we got here. The memorable performance. Did you have a memorable performance for, not even from this year, but just recently? Because I meant to ask you that too for the latest release. Is there anything you dropped since Sleeping Giant? And have you performed anything since Sleeping Giant?
Everything I performed is Sleeping Giant stuff or stuff that we did on The Cure that came out before Sleeping Giant.
Okay.
I performed with COC several shows, like shit I've done with him, shit I've done with, and then my brother.
Okay.
Whatever I've done with my brother, those is the main. My most memorable performances as of late have been the Confess shit. Cole had a nice set this past year, and then the year before that in 23, we did a really dope back-to-back. I did a half an hour, then he did a half an hour. That shit was amazing. Yeah, I wish it would have been on the real big stage. It was like one of the medium stages, but Confess has been pretty dope. Okay. So we're trying to go up from there. I mean, maybe try to do some Red Fest shit this year, or do some shit. We're trying to get out of here. Just go to some different states and hit whatever their Confess is or whatever them big festivals is.
So what's the PA stand for in PA Flex?
It's a lot of stuff. Passive aggressive, performing artists. It started out being Fat Albert though, because we was kids. Okay. But back when we was kids, Fat was like the slang.
It was hot.
PHAT.
Okay, you talking about the slang. Okay. I was gonna say because the clothes was hot too at the one point. That was the era.
PA was Fat Albert.
Yeah.
They used to call me Fat Albert before I was even chunky like this and shit.
Okay.
And this is back in the day. So when we was kids, like we was what? Yeah. 8th, 9th grade, 10th grade, around then, you know. So would you like to show us something how you get Fat Albert without being fat? It was because it was back then. Fat was it's because it's PHAT. That's why the P is. Fat was just slang. Okay, so that was just them saying he was cool for. Yeah, that's dope. That shit's fat. That shit's fresh. That shit's dope. Like that. Fat was just one of them things, and it stopped being cool. I don't know when. Like 2000, somewhere in the mid 2000s. I don't know. Like his Fat Farm was definitely mid 2000s, and then like closer to 2010s is when it started to fade. Yeah, it wasn't cool to say. So I never tell people. You're lucky. I would never tell people. I would say PA is from passive aggressive before, but I'll be real. It was Fat Albert, and we just kept it with PA. It just changed. Yeah. I can dig it. And Shaw gave me the flex on accident, and the song we did, and then I added flex to it. That's hard. Yeah. Creative.
You have a top 5 rappers list?
Yeah, my top 5 never changes. I mean, it's no order. It's it's Big, Jay, Andre, Nas, and why do I not? And Black Thought. Black Thought's my favorite rapper ever in life. Okay. Yeah, I mean, because he's never had any verse that was whack like that. He's never had a verse that was. Black Thought from Philadelphia, from North Philly, is my favorite rapper, still to this day. Yeah. And if you want to prove that, Funk Flex freestyle, he did 10 minutes. Can't no other rapper on the earth do that. That was crazy. I'm convinced can't no rapper to go 10 minutes without sounding like he stopped and started over and had to think. Nigga was barred down. So yeah, Big J, Nas, 3 Stacks, and Black Thought. It's never changed. I don't think it's going to change ever. I can't. It's just because see the thing about it is that as dope as Kendrick is, as dope as J. Cole and them niggas is, them dudes did something for me at a time. Like there was a time Busta Rhymes was in my top 5. Busta's that guy. There was a time that Common was in my top 5. Scarface. They made an impact at a time where it was harder to make an impact. Like, it's like, just like we was talking about artists in the city, how we're blessed and we're super fortunate in our generation where I knew Cash used to get mad at us because we might not do shows for like 10, 12 months, a year and a half, and then we just do a show and like it's the energy would be different. It's because we got different seasoning. It's like those artists I just named, Big had 2 albums, dude, and people still bring him up. You know, and it's like Michael Jordan ain't played in 20-something years.
He like
they talk about it every day. It's like when you make an impact, it's so easy to make an impact now. Just because if you can just get enough people to at least look at you, you know, it might not even last that long, but I mean, you might have a moment where they say, I know who that dude is, but it's just easier to get people's attention. Back then, you had to literally get home after school, get to Rap City or get to fucking 106 Park, even before 106 Park, and you had to get to the TV and get to that shit. You know what I'm saying? And if you didn't, you just listen to your friends say, "Oh man, such and such just was fucking wilding on it," you know, and you just missed it. But now you can just, I mean, okay, I'll just go YouTube. What just happened 2-3 hours ago? Okay, and you get to see it, which is dope. Technology and advancements is dope, but some of these artists ain't never, to me, gonna make the impact that, like, I remember years ago, Nicki Minaj had broke some record that Aretha Franklin had. And it was like, do you understand? Like, that's like playing basketball in Converses versus playing in fucking LeBrons. It's like you ain't even playing with the same toys, nigga. It's like,
I mean, it's like when don't get me wrong, don't take away from his greatness, but it's like when we see the record be passed, and it's like, bro, look at all the threes and stuff he was hitting. Kareem got that with all 2s.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
He got that with all 2s. In the 60s and 70s is where he was getting all the buckets.
It's not even taken away from LeBron, but it's like it's hard to compare.
Completely different path for you than it was for him. It doesn't take away from either one. It's just so different.
I mean, it's not really fair to compare. Like, you can't tell me that you want to name a top 5. But I remember used to get in arguments with niggas, and it'd be a nigga that's 10, 15 years younger than me, and hit this top 5. Like, nigga, what?
You got who in there?
But what you supposed to say?
You know, that's what he grew up like.
That's what he did. That impact that artist had, the impact that Future had on other artists, had on the game. It's like, dude, you can't take that away from it. But when you had to make that impact, and when niggas had to go to the store, I remember when Napster came out, and then people was like, streaming, what's that? They're like, yeah, they got the whole album on here, nigga. It was like, nigga, the whole shit is illegal in the motherfucker. Niggas was getting arrested for that shit. And it's like, but before, nigga, you had to go to the store and buy that shit. So when niggas, and there was even a hustle with that, where the record company would make sure, okay, Jay-Z coming out, we about to sell 2 million records to all these stores, and he gonna be double platinum within a week or two because we've already sold the albums. But people still you still could chart, or not chart, you could still track how many motherfucking barcodes got scanned to see how many. You know, now it's like you go on Spotify. I'm just gonna play your shit until my heart's content. Nigga.
Well, speaking of Jay-Z, I mean, you remember when 444 came out? He had to deal with Tidal, where it was platinum as soon as it came out. It was already like 1 million was sold.
Was that the one that was on the phones?
Yeah, it was through Tidal. It was like an album through Tidal. At first, you can get it anywhere now, but at first it was like exclusively through Tidal, and it was platinum as soon as it came out.
Yeah.
And that was all the streaming service. Like you're saying, like,
Hey, listen, and I ain't mad at the new technology, nigga. Fuck it, you get to it, but it's just hard to. I don't ever.
You don't have the same impact. You absolutely right, though.
It's hard to have that impact. When that shit was coming out, when Biggie, nigga, it's like that shit was just different. When Jay first came out, that shit was different. A whole different game. You know, so, you know.
Do you think being signed to like a major label means anything anymore, or is it independent just the only thing that makes sense? At this point,
I think that there's always going to be. I ain't gonna say always. I ain't gonna say that, but and it's funny when you talk about the goals for 25. It still means something to be signed because they're gonna do all the legwork and they're gonna put you in front of everybody's face. You know, they're gonna if you get. But it's a fork in the road because you can get signed and they can say, you know what, we're gonna put you on the shelf and fuck you, especially if you piss somebody off or you make a move they ain't want, and they say, well, we got all your rights and shit, so we're gonna just sit you over here, you can't do shit, and then you gotta break all the clauses in the contract to get out of shit. You gotta go out here and release music and they suing you just to get free from that shit. But if you get in a decent situation, and what I mean by decent, it's not good business. but they're gonna just put you in front of everybody's face.
They're gonna do the marketing for you.
So now everybody knows who you are. So if you don't want to do no legwork, if you don't want to spend your own money, yeah, that's cool. And hopefully you get into a situation where they're not fucking you over.
And you can make it back.
Yeah, that's the bad part. That's the biggest part about it, is that you can sit here and have all this impact, get all this fucking, make a couple bangers, maybe get an album that may really is successful, and you don't own none of that shit. Or you own 10, 5, like some crazy dumb small percent, you know what I'm saying? But
you don't really get no pros from it.
Yeah,
no profits.
I just think I think independence just the way to go, unless you can get into a good situation. Because I would never mind signing with a company, but it had to be more of a partnership where we gonna do this, y'all gonna do this, we splitting. Like I would never want to look up and be like, oh, this motherfucker's in control of everything I do. Like, nah, you can't do that. I'd rather, at this point in my life, I'd rather just say we're gonna have to make this shit happen and figure out how to use these tools we got to put it in front of people's face. And I know enough people that I can get it in enough places. You know what I'm saying? As long as you got the products and shit.
Makes sense.
So
I just asked that because I don't see a lot of the, of course, with the younger artists, that's not something that they really aspire for anymore. Because I think for those reasons, they've seen the 90s and 2000s artists really get screwed over. So now they like, keep me from that. Or at least try to come in with the leverage first.
Yeah,
that's the better situation.
Because if you can prove to them, because they want to finish product. They want to be able to say like, well, damn, you already got a certain amount of followers on this, certain amount of followers on that. You streaming like this, your YouTube look like this. Okay,
we'll work with you.
We'll work with you a little bit. And sometimes it's even better saying, fuck you. I still don't want to work with your punk ass, nigga, because you want to try to dip into my bag too much.
Exactly. It still ain't enough.
It still ain't enough. You have to pay me for real.
Right.
Give me all the money up front.
Exactly.
That's why I was wondering with
that's how I go.
That's why I was wondering with all this shit with Drake, but they said he signed some $400 million deal.
Yeah.
And now he was trying to come back with the $600 million. Like,
he trying to get to that billion.
I'm like, God, what the hell? What kind of deal is that?
$400 million is crazy.
God.
When you think about it though, too, think about how many albums he's putting on the label. He's putting out an album every year, if not every other year. He took this year off because of his Kendrick situation. But you know what I'm saying? But Kendrick had him a little busy. But outside of that, he basically drop an album every year though. He's keeping up with the contract. People who drop albums like that regularly, it's because they're trying to fulfill the contract to get to the next one. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's been. I think like him suing Kendrick is probably like it bubbling up. He was already probably trying to lock in the next deal. This Kendrick thing came up at the worst time possible. So then obviously he loses the situation. Now he like, let me try to sue to get what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what it seemed like. I don't know, no telling, but it's what it seemed like to me.
Where do you think that's gonna go though?
I think he's gonna eventually win.
I mean,
they will probably end up dropping him or something.
What is it? It's like, what does that look like? What does that really like? Do you think they would drop Drake just because they don't want to pay him as much as he wants? You drop him, you gonna let him go somewhere else and do that?
Who knows?
You know what I mean? Like, how does a label just be like, nah, Drake, we gonna let you walk? What label is bold enough to do that?
You had to give Cash Money 7 albums, then you had to turn around and give Universal 5 now.
But I mean, granted though, look how successful he is. That's what comes with that type of artist. You got to do those type of contracts. You know what I mean? And he's fulfilling them. He get the money still. So he's doing it the right way. But what label is he gonna be like? What label is gonna pick him up and then want to pay him that if they don't?
I don't know.
But then on the other side, are they really gonna just let Drake walk out the building because they don't want to pay him? Like, are you sure you gonna just let the biggest artist, arguably, just leave?
It's only 2 labels, really. Universal and Interscope.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of interesting. It's a really interesting situation. Like, we never really seen this happen in the rap before. Also, too, earlier I wanted to say something. You was talking about with the subgenres. I think the reason that that's happening now is because rap is being in the game longer. Like, it's still new. It's like basically the newest genre for the most part.
It just turned 50, last year?
I think it was last year.
Yeah. So it's
51 this year, I think.
It's still, for the most part, the newest genre of music. So that's why I think some of these stipulations and like unwritten rules and stuff are now starting to like slowly fade away because for the longest it was the newest. These other genres that all the other genres we compare that to been around for hundreds of years. You know what I mean? So it's a different situation. I think that's why it's probably like that. But it's going away though. Like, there ain't no. If you good, you good. People gonna listen to you to the end as long as they want to. So what's something that resonates with all Columbus people besides the Buckeyes?
Wow. I don't know. Be honest with you, shit. That's a good ass question.
Like, we've had people come on here and say bro, like how
Mhm.
everybody in the city
Bro
say
is bro is yeah.
And then the water tower on 5th.
Yeah, City Center. Somebody had a good one yesterday.
Well, City Center is it.
But you gotta
You
be
gotta be
on
a certain,
a
you gotta be a certain
age. That's
You
an
gotta be a
age
certain
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, people could now people it's Columbus Commons down there, so it's like you don't know.
What that used to
Yeah,
be.
you don't know what that used to be and shit.
Yeah.
But damn, that's the bro is big though.
Yeah, bro.
Bro
is
is so
huge.
bad though, because I can't.
Women.
That shit gets on my nerves.
I hate it when I hear the women
my
saying
God.
it.
I mean, I tell my daughter all the time, like, you know, because my son was he called to his sister like bro. I'm like, no, don't call your sister bro, nigga. Like,
Yeah,
let her call
right.
you. She can call you bro, but
Exactly.
don't call your. I'm telling her, don't call your friends bro. Like that shit, all that shit bothers me.
Yeah, it's gotta
But
be
it's so
limits
Columbus
to
though.
it.
It's so,
Yeah.
I get it. I understand why and shit.
It's like the way,
Uh,
like in New York, how they be calling people son or whatever they say nowadays. It's like
Yeah.
that here. Like
Yeah.
everybody's bro.
Yeah.
Everybody's bro.
Yeah. So that's big, bro.
Yeah.
But that's funny because I'm trying to think, damn, Buckeyes is,
The biggest thing here.
yeah. I mean, but shit, damn.
Somebody had a good one yesterday. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was something different. Oh, Donato's.
Oh
Yeah.
Donato's
Yeah.
was a good one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody.
They just moved that. They just. I know people down there in Tennessee that they just started getting. They got some Donatos down
They
there.
got one in Atlanta now too. My cousin told me.
I got to taste it though.
Yeah, probably not the
See
same.
what it's hitting like.
Yeah.
They might be putting some extra season on it or something.
Yeah,
for all I know.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I mean?
my dude that lived down
What it's
there
looking like.
outside of Nashville, I could have swore that he had a bad review.
Ooh.
I remember I was on Facebook once. I could have swore he's like, man, we got Donatos down here in Tennessee, and I could have swore he had a bad review. I don't remember though. I don't remember because I live pretty much by the first Donatos over there, so it's like that shit is butter. Like
Yeah.
it's I know you can go to Whitehall and that shit might be bad. So it's like and the further you get away from that motherfucker, even up north where I grew up, by the Tamarack Circle, that Donatos is busting. That shit's great, man. But I don't. They got to keep everything the same, man. You can't just change that shit.
That's
Make
a
it
fact.
South Donatos and
That's a fact.
fucking West Side, West Coast Donatos and shit.
You know, and
Like
it
trying
always
to bring
depends.
Roscoe's to Columbus.
It really. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we got Eddie's though. What do we need Roscoe's? We talking about bringing Roscoe's here?
They was talking about it.
We still got Eddie's, right?
Yeah, we still
Yeah,
got
we got
access and road for it. What's the biggest lie told about the state of Ohio?
The biggest. I don't know if it's just like the biggest lie. I mean, I think that we get played like we ain't what we are. And like I said earlier, the whole foundation of West Coast like hip hop music came from Ohio. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I ain't saying that they ain't take it there and Dre and them ain't took it somewhere and Battle Cat and all them producers and Daz and all them and haven't taken it where Mustard and they haven't taken it and did their own shit. But the king producer of fucking West Coast, Dr. Dre, all that shit came from Dayton. All you know what I'm saying? So it's like people don't even know right now that the Columbus, Ohio is like I think 14 or 13 biggest cities in the country as far as population.
Oh yeah.
It's like I can tell motherfuckers like nigga y'all. This was a small town. I was able to grow up when they called it a cow town.
It's a college town.
You know what I'm saying? And they used to be like, this is but now the way it's developed is like, so when you say biggest lie, I think people look at Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, and they still, oh man, we country and shit. I know one of my best friends is in Boston and shit, and she still be like, these motherfuckers be thinking I'm country. Just because the way, the dialect, just the way your voice sounds. We used to be in New York all the time. We was like 19, 20, 21, and we'd be up there, and we love New York and shit. Right when you get around certain people and the chicks done, son, yo, B up B. Like it'd be the finest girl. And she got fucking Chuck and Timberlands on with these tight ass jeans. Sound if you shut your eyes, you be like, that's that a nigga? Like and it's like so it's like they would right when we start talking.
That's
Y'all
what you
niggas
say.
country as fuck. Like
That's crazy.
So that's what. So they think we just country little like bumpkin motherfuckers and shit. So that's probably the biggest thing. And they don't understand it. It's
like maybe if
it's
you're
some
from the
city
sticks
shit.
or something, but like it's some city shit going on here. I've never understood that. Like honestly, I've never felt like we've had accents. I like when we go other places, it's like we just talk proper.
Right.
Like other people have like more twang and like slang to their voice.
They do.
We just talk proper. It sounds different from someone else.
Yeah, it do.
But it just be proper though. It's not like actual.
But I
accent.
don't know if it's like this in others because you said Ohio. You didn't say Columbus when you asked that question.
Yeah,
You said
I guess it's
Ohio.
Ohio.
If you look at it, you always get it with the election when they show all of our population is Cleveland, Cincinnati, and
Yeah, these
Columbus.
the three metros.
Yeah, and you look at all the other shit, it's mad rural.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
outside of Toledo and Dayton, which is like smaller little
Mhm.
pockets, it's all rural.
It's all rural.
For
So
sure.
they think you country, and they say we sound like we country,
But that's like what's so crazy is that we get that when it's like that's every state. You ever been to New York? Have you ever been anywhere outside of NYC? It's all green. It looked like anywhere else, you know. Like it's just green. You know what I'm saying? You go to Philly. Who's been through PA before? Please tell me what you see before you get to Philly. A whole lot of nothing. You know what I'm saying? You driving through PA forever. And you don't see nothing until all of a sudden Philly on the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. That's every state. Why we get that? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
It's funny, but I don't know. I think we changing the narrative. I agree, though. We definitely changing the narrative.
But I also feel like most people that's smart know what we brought to the table, what we gonna still bring to the table. And I think sometimes the good thing about people talking about you, they're talking about you. So if they shitting on you, that you ain't this, you ain't that, you know, and that shit they talk about us. I think we got a lot of shit, and hopefully tonight when we play this game, we can keep something going and shit.
For sure. For sure.
Hope I ain't got to be drunk to fucking take this shit in. And shit.
Yeah. As long we win this, it's like, all right, don't even worry about that other shit. We winning though. We good. We good. You know, so we winning the big stuff. That's what matters.
We're gonna see. We're gonna have to see. You know?
Yeah, man. I ain't put too much faith in that coach sus, but we'll see what happens.
The thing about it is sometimes it's like this, bro. You can't fuck up the. If I go into the kitchen and I got some good meats.
You got all.
I got some good seasonings.
Bro.
I got the good vegetables, the greens and shit. If I fuck all that shit up, nigga, you
4 or 5 meals in a row too, like bro, it's something you doing now.
You gotta
like,
be dusty, my nigga.
Yeah.
You gotta be dusty. And the thing about it is, the first ones wasn't as bad because there was Jim Harbaugh and he's a coach and like legend type motherfucker. You know they was cheating and shit. This one. Was like
inexcusable.
It was like he just pissed on himself, and I was at work, so I was listening to him on the radio, which is fine. I still to this day have not watched one snap of that game like with my eyes and shit, and I'm listening like I'm texting my people like, does it really look this bad? Like, does it look as bad as the way it's sounding? It like sounds really bad. Like I'm like, why ain't we playing like we normally play?
Yeah, I was working during it, but I was like downtown, so they had like people set up watching the game and stuff. Like I was there to like the first half, and it was tied, and I was like, this looked like this might be a game they end up winning. We should definitely not be this close to them like this. Like it just don't seem right. End up losing the game.
But see, I think if he played the way we played the whole year. You know, use them receivers and then try to run a little bit. Don't try to run like back in the day, like football and shit. Like no, just all these receivers and shit. Throw that shit to them and let the playmakers make the plays and shit. And quit trying to be smart, man. Like
you're not Herb.
Quit trying to be smart, my bro.
Yeah, you're not Herb.
Don't go into the kitchen and just fuck up all the good meal. Yeah. And everything in this bitch is valuable till you come in. Yeah. And fuck it all
just
up.
burning up everything.
Burn
like, come on, dog.
Yeah, no.
I'm trying to eat.
So yeah.
That's real. Yeah. That's real. Buckeye Nation, man. Y'all know what's going on. Come on now. Talking that talk.
See how this shit go.
Talking that talk.
What type of legacy do you hope to leave behind?
I don't know, man. Just I think that just to be a solid motherfucker. Be honest with you. Just be a solid person. Be a person that made good art. Never just put out something that was like subpar on some bullshit, but also a motherfucker that was a Columbus person, like coming from when we was a cow town, when it was super, before all the development in the suburbs, when you had so many people here, it was a normal thing to think that there's no way you're gonna get any type of traction. This is before all the technology, the technology had made it so easy to be seen. People just was like, there's no way you're gonna make it here. Like you have to go move somewhere.
You had to go somewhere else where it's more popping.
Yeah, so but luckily, shit, I was one of my best friends, my producer Rashad had a record deal. I met the nigga in 7th grade. I think he got his deal that year. And I didn't even know he had a deal until we was in high school. I didn't know he had a record deal as my nigga. And so I was like in 9th grade.
He had a deal in junior high?
Dude, he had a deal when he was 12.
That's crazy. Before junior high.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, we was in 7th grade. So he was
like junior high. I mean, that's junior high for us.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. So it's like I knew that you could do things that were bigger than just what we could see. But my legacy, I want people to understand it now. We was Columbus, Ohio dudes, man, and we represent this shit. You ain't gonna put me nowhere on this earth. And they say, where you from? And I'm talking about some shit that ain't Columbus or Ohio.
Come on now.
You know,
North side the whole way?
Yeah, north side. I'm north side, south side now, so it's like I'm both of them bitches. So
for sure.
That's my legacy, is that I love my city, and I can't stand motherfuckers who don't.
Yeah.
You can
Rep where you're from.
You can get the fuck out this motherfucker.
Talk that talk.
Like I tell motherfuckers all the time, like, if you don't like it, the fuck, go somewhere else, nigga.
Yeah.
Get it popping. Go see what the fuck they got. Cause I know people that I went to college with, that I grew up with, that moved. Arizona, Cali, down Atlanta, Florida areas and shit, and they're like, man, this shit look different. I got lost. I came home to visit my mom and shit. Where the fuck am I at? It's nigga, East Morris Road, nigga. It ain't. It's the same Morris Road, nigga. It's east west, nigga. Just go. It's the same Sunbury Road, nigga. Westbury Road.
It ain't changed that much,
nigga. You know, but it's like it's so much different. It's like this shit is popping, nigga. It's like you can go to a lot of cities, nigga. People be like, I ain't nothing to do and shit. Like, nigga,
that's
you
cap.
Boring as fuck, bro.
Yeah, that's cap. You ain't looking for nothing to do. That's why.
If you just go in the house and watch TV. If you
every day of the week, we got something going on in the city. Even in the cold months, it's still going.
Keep you up there.
Yeah. Even if you want to just go get some food and go to Pins or some bowl or go, you just a lot of shit to do. You boring ass nigga, like get the fuck out of here, man. So that my legacy. We Columbus, man. We love Ohio, man. We love what we do and shit. And even if I was to ever move somewhere else, I'm still gonna rep and shit, because I mean we scarlet and gray, man, all day, man. That's what we do, man. So
yes, sir. You have a message for the Columbus youth?
Shit, I mean, don't let these motherfuckers tell you can't do what you gotta do and shit. Don't let these motherfuckers tell you that you can't do what you want to do, man. That's what it is. You got to have some type of aspiration, some type of dream. Even if it's academic, if it's just, if it ain't no arts, But I'm a creative dude. My kids is the same way. My ex-wife is the same way. We creative motherfuckers. So I created creative kids. So I'm in the arts real heavy. I know that some people ain't gonna be like that, but I would always encourage kids, if you have any type of creative bone in your body, to stress to your parents or the people that guide you through life to let you be creative, let you draw, talk, make music, play an instrument, fucking play a sport, because that's art too. So it's like, just be creative, and that's how you gonna create your your destiny anyway. Your life, your future is gonna be something that you create. So
yes, sir.
So I would just say be creative, and don't allow anybody to let you not be creative.
Fire. We was put on this earth to create.
Yeah.
If you're doing anything less than that, you might not be living life to the fullest.
Man.
That's real.
Yeah.
Let the people know where they can find you at. Where they can find you at social media.
You can follow me mainly on Instagram, PAFlex_genius. That's PAFLEX_genius. Facebook is my government, Albert Matthews III. And that's pretty much where I be at. And there's a couple pages on Instagram, and you can just find them, through me and my brother COC 1979. We got the Burlington Brothers on there. Got 50 Jumpers on there. Okay. North City Music Group's on there too. So, yeah, mainly we on Instagram like that. Okay. That's the best way.
All right.
Until we get these sites up, these Bandcamp and these websites, we can do that too.
Any last words before we get out of here?
Listen, man. I really don't. I'm at a place right now where it's like I got derailed a little bit with the Buckeye talk, and it kind of threw me off.
And that's that Buckeye Nation coming out, man. I know how it go, man.
Kind of threw me off,
I know how it go.
Because I had got some conversations about it last night, because I didn't know this shit started last night. The playoffs started last night.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, it brought it all back up. So my last words is just keep going, man. Everybody, whatever you're doing in life, man, just keep going, man.
For sure.
Keep going. We don't believe in walls, and we don't believe in barriers and shit, man. We just keep going, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Wise words from PA Flex.
Yeah, man.
It's been a pleasure having you with us here today.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Y'all already know the vibes.
Yes, sir.
Until next time.
Yes, sir.
COC 614. We out, y'all.